Okay, so today we're tackling a phrase that's definitely buzzing around, the high-value woman.
Hmm.
But let's, push aside those maybe superficial ideas for a second. We're obviously digging into some excerpts from a source called The High-Value Woman Blueprint: How to Become the Woman No One Can Play With.
Right. And the idea here is less about like surface level stuff and more about internal strength, boundaries, knowing your own worth.
Exactly. It's positioned almost like a guide to strategic intelligence, really. Not just how you look, but how you operate.
Yeah, precisely.
You
It's
know?
not aiming for just an external change. What we want to do in this deep dive is really unpack the psychological core, the strategies laid out in this blueprint.
Okay.
So the goal is to understand what these traits actually mean for someone, anyone looking to navigate life with a bit more self-respect, maybe,
Yeah.
confidence.
Yeah, operating from a place of strength.
Okay, so let's get into it. This blueprint lays out, I think, 7 key psychological and strategic traits.
That's right, 7 of them. And the first one is called strategic silence, which sounds intriguing. It's not just being quiet, is it?
No, no, not at all. It's about intentionality, thinking of silence as a tool, almost.
A tool. How so?
Well, the blueprint suggests it's about knowing when to speak up, sure,
Mm-hmm.
but also recognizing that sometimes holding back, staying silent, is actually more powerful.
Okay.
The idea is this kind of woman doesn't feel compelled to, like, argue constantly or defend every little point.
Okay. I think the source said something like, she doesn't argue to prove, she withdraws to protect her peace. That resonates.
It does, doesn't it? Especially now, with everything being so noisy and immediate.
Yeah.
The power to just not engage, that's real.
Prioritizing your own headspace, basically, not feeling you have to react to everything.
Exactly. And that kind of flows naturally into the second trait, which is emotional sovereignty.
Emotional sovereignty. Okay. Sounds like being in charge of your own feelings.
Pretty much. Like being the leader of your internal world, the blueprint talks about avoiding, big emotional outbursts or begging or getting stuck in those downward spirals.
Right. Which sounds good in theory, but how do you actually do that? How do you build that kind of regulation?
Well, it offers some practical things. Journaling comes up as a way to process things thoughtfully
Okay.
and also consciously pausing. Just taking a beat before you react to something intense.
The pause. Simple but effective.
Yeah. And if you think about a bigger picture, it's like handling conflict more like like a leader would, responding, not just reacting. That's useful everywhere, work, personal life, you name it.
Definitely. Okay, so number 3 is skill style.
Yeah.
Skill over style. This feels pretty foundational.
It really does. It puts the focus squarely on like genuine competence,
Yeah.
what you can actually do.
So less about the surface, more about substance. Your ability to earn, solve problems, think independently, that kind of thing.
Exactly that. Your capabilities are your real value, according to this blueprint.
There was that line in the source, if Instagram died tomorrow, she'd still be valuable in any room. That kind of lands, doesn't it?
It really does. A potent reminder that, lasting value isn't about likes or trends.
Yeah.
It's about having solid skills you can actually use.
Skills you can rely on, yeah.
And having that foundation of competence sort of sets the stage for the next one, number 4, which is aligned femininity.
Aligned femininity. Okay, that sounds maybe a bit softer. How does that fit with the other traits?
Well, the blueprint frames it as embracing, let's say, softness, but without lowering your standards.
Okay. So it's not about trying to be more masculine to be seen as strong.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's also not about letting that softness mean you get taken advantage of. It's presented as a kind of balance.
A balance. Strength and authenticity coexisting.
Yeah, something like that.
Can-
Knowing your boundaries, holding them firm, but still operating within your, natural way of being. It's nuanced.
Interesting nuance. Okay, number 5. Relational standards. This feels critical, especially for protecting your energy.
Oh, absolutely. This is all about being really intentional with who you let into your life, particularly romantically.
Intentional how?
The blueprint is pretty specific. It suggests not investing time in people, specifically men in this context, who can't or won't lead, grow, or respect her own path. High standards.
And it had that really clear line, didn't it? If you drain her focus, you don't get access to her life. Wow.
Yeah.
That's direct.
Very direct. There's a strong statement about protecting your mental energy and your goals. It's a boundary that applies beyond just romance, really.
Yeah, you could apply that anywhere. Which kind of leads into number 6, playing long-term games.
It does. This shifts the perspective outward, doesn't it? Towards the future.
Yeah, like applying a long view to, well, everything. Career, relationships, health. The source used that great
Oh,
contrast.
the thinking 5 years ahead, not 5 likes ahead, one.
That's the one, yeah. It's about building something lasting, not just chasing quick hits of validation.
Right. And, it takes discipline to do that, to resist the urge for that immediate payoff and focus on the bigger picture. It goes against a lot of our sort of instant gratification tendencies.
Sure. Okay, and the last one, number 7. Presence built, not bought. So this isn't just about looks or clothes.
No, definitely not. The blueprint emphasizes that real presence comes from inside. It's your energy, how you carry yourself, your posture, the clarity in your voice, your ambition. It all contributes.
It's an internal thing radiating outwards.
Exactly. It's cultivated. The source gives examples like speaking with intention.
Right, dressing with pride, walking like you belong.
Yeah, those things. It's not about having the most expensive stuff. It's about self-respect,
Yeah.
carrying yourself with purpose.
An inner confidence showing through.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are the 7 traits. But the blueprint also gets practical, right? With money and power moves.
Yes, it connects the dots between, financial stability, emotional well-being, and this whole high-value concept.
And the first move is super simple. Just track your spending for 7 days.
Which makes sense.
Mhm.
Basic awareness, right? You can't manage what you don't measure.
True. What's the second move?
Learn one monetizable skill, something you can actually earn money with.
Yeah.
It gives examples like design, copywriting.
Oh, yeah. Notion setups, Canva templates, things people need.
Exactly. It loops back to that skill style idea, building real competence.
Got it. And the third move?
Start building what it calls quiet leverage.
Quiet leverage. What's that?
Things like passive income streams, maybe creating digital products, even building online brands anonymously. The focus is on building power and security without having to constantly show it off.
Ah, building in silence, not flexing. I like that.
Yeah, it's about creating a solid, sustainable foundation kind of behind the scenes. And then building on that, there's the Dangerous Girl Challenge.
Okay, Dangerous Girl Challenge. Sounds intense. Is it about taking risks?
Maybe bold is a better word than risky. It's framed as moving from just surviving to like strategic action, putting these ideas into practice.
Okay, so what are the steps?
First step is an inner circle audit.
Ooh, okay. Looking at who's around you.
Yeah, seriously asking, who aligns with where you want to go? And then the hard part, maybe distancing yourself from those who don't, who hold you back.
That takes courage. What's
Yeah.
next?
Writing down 5 non-negotiables for your life, like across the board: career, love, health, self-image. What absolutely has to be true for you.
Getting really clear on your core values and boundaries.
Exactly. Clarity. And the third step in the challenge.
Do one thing every day that scares you.
Whoa, okay. Not like jumping off buildings scare you, I hope.
No. More like requires a bit of boldness. Speaking up when it's uncomfortable, applying for that thing you think you're not ready for, walking away from a bad deal.
Okay. Pushing your comfort zone consistently. Building that muscle of courage through action.
Makes sense. It's practical application. Now, the source also touched on a potential issue, right? Through a listener question.
Yeah, it did. It addressed that feeling of isolation that can sometimes happen when you start, raising your standards or changing your life. The question was from Carmen from L.A.
Right. What if I'm the only high-value person in my circle and I start feeling isolated? It's a really valid point.
Totally. And the answer given was quite reframing, I thought.
Oh, so?
It basically said, yeah, that isolation can happen, but maybe see it as a sign of growth. As your standards rise, some old connections might fall away, naturally.
Because they're not aligned anymore.
Exactly. But that falling away creates space.
Yeah.
Space for new people, new connections that are aligned with where you're heading.
So it's a transition phase, not necessarily a permanent state.
Right. And the blueprint uses this idea of feeling like a builder or feeling early, like you're laying the foundations for something new. It might feel a bit lonely while you're building before the results show, but it's part of constructing something better. And empire rising, I think, was the phrase.
Empire rising. Okay. So pulling all this together from the blueprint, it seems like becoming this undeniably high-value person isn't really about quick fixes or surface stuff at all.
Not at all. It's much deeper. It's this blend of inner strength, strategic thinking, and a really solid sense of your own worth.
It goes way beyond just being nice or looking good. It's about how you operate from your core, self-respect,
Yeah,
boundaries.
that inner fortitude. And it prompts a real shift in thinking, doesn't it?
How do you mean?
Well, instead of thinking, how can I lower my standards to be liked,
Hmm.
the focus flips. It becomes about how do I raise my own frequency, my own standards, so I attract respect.
Ah. So the goal isn't just to fit in, but to be the standard others might even aspire to.
Precisely. So maybe the final thought for you listening is, what is your personal standard really? And maybe what's just one small thing you could do starting today to really begin embodying that?